Okay, we're going to work with clip masking today. You're going to work from a photograph of your choice. You can find them two different places. You can either use your own photograph, make sure it's high resolution, or you can use a website called unsplash.com or even another website called wallpaperswide.com. Either one is going to give you a high resolution photograph. That's the whole purpose of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up the photograph in Photoshop and we're going to look at the file type. Make sure that this says RGB, and if it doesn't, you can change your mode right here to RGB. Then we're going to go ahead and save as. We're going to name this last name, first name, clip masking. Sometimes it's also phrased as clipping mask. And we're going to save that to our desktop. Click OK. And now we're ready to begin. So I'm going to first convert my background layer into a regular layer. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on it. Click OK. And then I'm going to take a copy of this layer, so Command J, and it's going to be sitting on top. This is the one that I want to adjust. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Adjustment, and I'm going to hit Black and White. Pay attention to your picture, make adjustments to the value, getting a nice black and white version. So if your picture needs a little bit of tweaking, go ahead and do that now. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to layer 1 because I'm going to start to build some shapes inside of here. I'm going to use one of these shapes in different ways. So you guys can use line, you can use shapes, shape tools, you can use the polygon, anything that you see in here is fine to use. Kind of look at your picture. My picture has a lot of angles, so I'm going to possibly use one of the straighter shapes. The other thing that you can do is you can build with your pen tool. So I could draw with my pen tool. The pen tool is going to be converted to a shape. And then whatever shape or pen tool that you're using, you need to make sure that your fill is on and that you have an outline. Actually, the outline doesn't have to be on. It's the fill that's the most important. So the fill's got to be turned on. So I'm going to go ahead and use my pen tool for this. Also, the custom shapes. I want to talk about those. So the custom shapes are up here. I have a lot of them added. You probably have a limited version. I don't want you to go crazy with these. I'd like you to pick shapes that are organic or very geometric. Try to avoid the icons and symbols of things that are obvious, like light bulbs and scissors and that sort of thing. We want to make this consistent and pretty. So just be careful if you're going to use these. Alright, so I'm going to use my pen tool, and I'm basically going to just make a bunch of really straight lines. In between my shapes, I'm going to go ahead and hit the escape key. They cannot share the same anchor point as each other. If you want to see the shapes that you're making, you can go ahead and turn layer 0 copy off. And I chose to use my pen tool because of just the nature of the photo, but you might want to do circles and ellipses. You can make this look like a broken mirror, and you could actually fragment your shapes this way. Okay. All right, now that I have the shapes that I want, they're going to disappear because I'm going to turn my layer off on top of them. And then I'm going to take my shift key and I'm going to select all of my shapes and I'm going to group them together. And if you want to, you can title them shapes. Now, this is super easy. All I have to do is take this black and white version and snap it into my shapes. I'm going to hit the Control key and click once, and then I'm going to create a clip mask. So what you end up with is you end up with the picture of black and white in the same location as the first layer, except that this one is a black and white version. You could, if you wanted to, you could switch this up. So instead of having it where the color is the prominent layer. You could switch it where the color clips into the shapes and you could do a black and white. So it just depends on which order you want to do it. I like it with the black and white on the top. So I'm gonna again clip mask this into my shapes. And you should have about maybe 10 shapes. So I need to go in and actually finish off some of these. I can create some more. So I'm going to grab my pen tool and it's clip masking as I'm doing it because the clip mask is turned on. And I'm going off the artboard because I don't want this to happen. You can go back and try to find that shape and actually transform it. So I'm going to stretch it out just a little bit there. That way, yes, I want to transform. All right. There you go. That's your assignment. You could do this with video. You can also do it with still pictures like we have. Anywhere I move these shapes, it's going to match the photograph because the photos are actually lined up together. So I can make adjustments to these if I want. I just have to find them. So turning them on and off. There we go. Okay. Nice. And then we're going to go ahead and file, save as. You're going to convert this to a PS or a JPEG. So you want this to be a JPEG. Make sure it's last name, first name, clip masking. And then save it and turn it in. Perfect.